feel the body relax here on the ground. Deep inhales and exhales. And we'll start to connect with the word that we're playing with today already. And this is the word courage, especially the courage to fly. So we're playing with crow pose. This is a pose that involves a lot of strength from a lot of areas. It involves a little bit of balance. It involves core strength. It involves kind of confidence in the shoulder strength. So it's one, we've got the bolsters to help protect us. So that's one of our regards with confidence, is there's different things that help us to be able to build up confidence. Think of a little baby bird. Before it actually kind of just launches out of the nest one day, it's got to build up that confidence. And so the different things that give us confidence are working on strength, so that it's like, I am strong enough to do this. To work on kind of safety, things that help us feel more protected, more confident. So that's where we have the bolsters, in case even just putting the layer around us helps us to build that confidence that it's okay, we're safe. But also just the idea of listening to ourselves, that if today is not the day to fly, we're just going to get as close as we can and not hurt ourselves. So just listening to ourselves as well is one of those things that builds that confidence, because not every day is a flying day. So with all these regards and confidence, let's start to take some of our initial stretches. Take the knees into the chest, a hand on each knee. Do a little bit of rocking around. Tuning in already with internally with how the low back and the hips are. Good. So for this first section of class, we're going to intermix some core strengthening poses with just nice stretching poses. So this will warm up our body and also start to kind of get into some of the easy stretching. So first and foremost, spread the arms out like a figure T. Start to extend the legs upright straight. What we're going to do is tilt the legs over to the left and just hold them for a little while. So it can only be, 2 or 3 feet from that midline spot. It could be hovering above the ground. It's a spot that your body tells you is safe. You have confidence that you can maintain it for several good rounds of breath, but you also feel like it's not tugging on your low back too much. The further we go, the more torque is put on that low back. So no need to put pressure unnecessarily. Let's take about 3 more good breaths right on this path. 2, 1. Good. Lift the legs back up. Take the same thing to the second side. Go about as far as you did on that first. Feel how some areas of the core need to just kind of hold itself rigidly in place to keep the legs there. Other areas of the core are expanding, so we can take really deep breaths. Another 3, 2, 1. Go back up through the center. And now a round of just lowering the legs directly down. So same thing, you're only lowering to the point where your core can still maintain it, meaning the low back does not arch off the ground. So really squeeze the low back, kind of press the low back into the ground. You're only going to the point where you can comfortably maintain with that connection. Three, 2, 1. Good. Bending the knees. Let the knees take a simple twist over to the left. So now the back muscles get a little bit of a chance to stretch, especially after they were just kind of rigidly holding the legs in place. Lifting the knees up. Take the twist to the other side. When the knees come back up, straighten the right leg up to the sky. Hover the left leg above the ground, or go higher if you need it to be easier. So from here, glue the hands to the outside of the right thigh. The arms are going to stay on this side while we do 10 leg switches. So left leg up, 10, and switch. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch the legs. So bring the left leg up really quick, switch both arms to the outside of left, and going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The leg that's up, grab onto it, rest the head down. We're pulling this leg into a hamstring stretch. So maybe gripping on calf, maybe walking up to the foot, up to you. Just the degree that helps you stretch this leg. These little breaks are nice to catch the breath as well. Realizing I never make it go completely evil, just straight core effort the whole class. I always make sure that we're integrating. We're giving these muscle fibers time to stretch as well. Inhales. Exhales. And take one more round. Okay, switch out the legs. So right is up, left is dropped down, relaxed. And then help this right leg out. We're here just a couple more breaths. There's always opportunity to walk the hands higher or pull the leg just a hair closer in. And we're good. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Both knees bend in. So imagine a crow pose from this orientation. So it's like the hands are planted on the ceiling. We're bringing the elbows to the inner parts of the knees. So we're building up this shape and we're going to turn this into crunches. So the arms and legs extend away above the head and below the body, and then crunch back into that crow pose shape. Inhale to stretch, exhale to crunch it. So here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Take it into happy baby. Grab the feet, help the hips open up, recognizing this is very similar to the crow pose shape. So helping to open the hips in this way is only a boon later on. Your preference, if you're staying still, just pulling the knees open, or maybe rocking. Or sometimes I'll add in variations where I'm extending one leg at a time. All of it's your preference, whatever feels helpful for your system at this point. One more good inhale. Exhale. Good. Legs come together. Let's play with our Coming up, rolling into a boat pose, coming up to balance, and then rolling back, finding that balance again each time we come up, back. Two more. And then this last one, we stay in boat pose. However you have to do to get to boat, good. If boat here is a deep challenge for you, just keep the hands on the knees. If you can bring the kind of the frog shape from this position, take that shape. Good. And then option to take 5 times, extending out, coming back into that rope. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Grab the ankles, set the legs into cobbler's pose shape. Lengthen the spine up to tilt forward. No need to tilt anymore. Relax the spine into the nice curved shape. We'll be here just a little longer. If it feels useful for your low back, to slowly sway over to the right knee with the head, and then over to the left knee. Take it easy and slow. Sometimes that's helpful for that low back area. Lengthening spine back up. Let's cradle out the right leg. Moving into the hip a little bit more. So this can be with hands, it can be with the elbows, whatever works for that right leg. Rock it out a couple of times. Lengthen the spine upward as much as possible. Flipping this left knee up, place this right ankle onto that thigh. Hands come behind you. And then a couple of rounds where we slowly tilt this unit all the way over to the left, and then all the way to the right. Go twice more. Beautiful. As the leg comes back upright, your choice. If this is a good enough hip stretch, just stay right here in the center. Or if you can take it into double pigeon, this right shin stacking on top of the left, walking the hands forward. Walking the hands in. This left foot stays tucked in. One more pose. The right leg opens up to a nice wide angle. From here, bringing the hands on the floor to support the spine, we're slowly going to sway over toward the straight leg, and over toward the bent knee. Again, just easing through hips and low back. Take 3 sways to each side. What you're doing on this third one is just checking for what spots are the tightest. And then you're going to pause at the tightest spot. So for some of us, it might be over the straight leg. Some of us, it might be hands planted forward. Just find your tightest spot and then just rest passively for a couple of breaths. Okay, so coming up, swivel this right leg in, we're cradling the left. So rock it a couple of times. Spine's trying to lengthen upward. That starts to feel really good. Take this right knee upward so we can rest the left ankle on it. Hands are relaxing back behind us 3 times. Go all the way to the right, all the way to the left. And 2. Last 1. Good. And as it comes upright, your choice, either stay here or take the double pigeon, walking the hands forward for the deep. One more inhale. The exhale. As the hands walk in, straighten out the left leg. Take the 3 sways, gradually going over to the left and over to the right. 2 more cycles. 1. Good, and then you'll stay in whatever this best angle is for your body. Optimally, it's the same symmetrically to what you did on the other side. Keeping the body in balance. One more breath, close in and out. And we rise. Take the legs underneath us. We'll do a couple of cat-cows. So the spine gets to round up. And down. Take it through the full breath cycle. Exhale to rise up. Inhale to drop the belly down. More. That last one, we're planting the hands, the fingers are spreading wide. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Let's give the legs a chance to pedal out a few rounds. One knee bends, and then the other knee bends. So getting back into a couple of core and arm strengthening things. We're going to lift up to 3-legged dog, right leg floating up high. That right knee, as we shift forward into plank, the right knee is going to come to the outside of the right arm. And back up, 3-legged dog. We're doing up to 10 of those. If you need to drop to knees and take a break at any point, that's okay. So here's 9. And up. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. Work 2. This last one, after you come to that position, step the right foot to outside of right hand. From here, assisted push-ups. With this position, it kind of takes some of the weight off of the arms. So bend the elbows and press up. Again, up to 10, you don't have to do all of them. Here's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. You can rest the back knee to the ground. You can lower to one elbow or both elbows, even sliding the bolster in if that helps the height to be better for your body. Coming up to hands, straighten the front leg, kind of a wider version of half splits. Just kind of leaning back forward to the point that your hamstrings will allow. Inhale. Please exhale. Start to take this right knee underneath your body. We'll go straight to the second side. So know it's a challenge. We'll get some breaks after this. But rising up to downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up high. And take left knee to the outside of left arm. And back. 9. And keep flowing with the breath. 8. And you can always skip some if you need to. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Good. Step to the outside of left hand. And the assisted push-ups. Get your body set up. Whenever you're ready, going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Resting the back knee down. Option to lower to elbows or elbows onto bolster. Try to relax and breathe into the hip. Up to hands, we can take the half split. Leg straightens out in front of us. Hands are just planted, even bending elbows if you need to sink the chest a little lower. Inhale, easy exhale. This leg comes underneath us. We can either be in a kneeling plank or a full plank. We're just going to slow motion lower our belly down to the ground. Once you're down on the ground, slide the hands a little bit wider than the mat, tented fingers. You're lifting the chest an inch or two off the ground, then rotating the right shoulder to the center, lowering that shoulder a couple of inches. And rise back up, left shoulder. Get once more, right shoulder. And left shoulder. Good, through center, walk the elbows underneath you. Take a moment with sphinx, letting the belly get pulled forward and through. One thing about our curl pose is it does kind of curl us into this tight shape. So this is a chance just to kind of let the expansion happen through the spine. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Let's head back to child pose. The knees are a little wide to allow for a shoulder stretch. So the left arm stays forward, the right arm threads under that left armpit space. Just relax into a gentle opening through the deltoid. Unwind to this right arm and thread the left arm under and through. Release this left arm forward, take just a couple more breaths. Back to kneeling, preparing for downward facing dog. Make sure that you're pressing through all the knuckles, all the joints of the finger. That helps to relieve some of the pressure off the wrist. Pressing down through your fingers. You don't have to stay here in the down dog super long. You can go up to the forward fold at the top of the mat when you're ready. But those that enjoy that down dog, feel free to take several breaths. If you haven't come to the forward fold yet, start to make your way up to the top of the mat. You're gonna take a bonus breath in and out. Out to rise. Exhale, hands down to heart. Work. So taking a shoulder stretch here, right elbow goes under left elbow. Allow the spine to round back while you push the elbows forward. Straighten the spine back up. Bring the big toes close together. Sit back like a fierce pose. You can either stay in this leg variation if this helps your balance better, or take full eagle, right thigh over. As you uncross this right leg, or just from standing, try to lift the right knee up just to tap the elbows for a moment, kind of like a crochet. Good, and then swing that leg back. Warrior 3 variation. Landing softly to Warrior 1, elbows still bound for a moment. The front knee strongly bent, elbows lifting up high. Good, release the arms, clasp the hands behind the back. Bow forward, shoulder stretch. Good. Release the hands to the hips and then circle all the way up to sky. Lean forward just a little bit. Imagine you're grabbing onto something strong. You're pulling the elbows to the side, finding some of that strength of the arms, and then feather light release up. Pulling down 9. Feather light back up. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Float back up, Warrior 1, inhale. Exhale, Warrior 2. Flex the wrists, kind of like the crow pose. And then you're gonna pulse the arms in and then push out. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Good. Turn yourself open to goddess pose. The toes are open to 45-degree angle. The knees are bent. Now the arms come out to the space in front of your chest. And the 10 cycles here is fingers go down, and then fingers peel up. Sorry, 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Good. Hands come to the inner knees. Press the hips open. Kind of lean back into it. So the hips lean back as the shoulders come forward just a little bit. Helps to just push the whole thing. Beautiful. Straightening the legs. Shorten the stance a little bit. So one heel toe in, and then pivot the toes forward, top of mat. Pyramid pose. I like to start with the hands on the hips to make sure the hips are staying square forward. Look forward, eventually dropping down to shin, floor. Knees are softly bent, roll the spine up. The back foot slides next to the front foot, big toes close. Left elbow under right. First round the spine back as you push the elbows forward. Bring the spine up. Putting back hips close. Option to cross left thigh over. Good. Left knee taps the elbows. Exact Warrior 3. Soft land Warrior 1. Elbows lifting up. Release the arms, hand crossed up in the back, bow forward, shoulder stretch. Beautiful. Hands release. Circle the hands all the way through the floor to rise up. Tilt forward a little bit. Imagine you're grabbing something, pull through the side, and inhale, slow down. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's float back up, warrior 1, inhale. Exhale, open up, warrior 2. The fingers flex up. And come in to push out. 10, 9, 8, 7. Feeling that good wrist strength being built without any pressure. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Good. Open up to goddess. Squat down. Hands are in front of you. And fingers peeled down and up. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Amazing. Hands back to inner thighs. Press the thighs open as you lean forward. You have an option to rotate the right shoulder forward. You did that, switch to left shoulder. Right back through center. One more breath. Good. Straightening the legs. Heel toe the feet in once. Pivot the toes to point forward. Oftentimes I'll take hands to the hips to keep them square as I bow forward. And eventually releasing hands to chin, or floor. 2 straight legs, pyramid pose. Good. Deep into both knees, roll up. So we're stepping up to the top of the mat. Here's where we're going to play with our crow pose. So if you have one bolster, put it up to the top of your mat. If you have more, you can also put them along the sides just to create kind of a little safety fort for playing with our crow. No embarrassment, it's totally fine. Okay, so just note, you don't want to bring your wrist into any sort of pain by trying to do it too long. So take plenty of times even coming up to a forward fold just to kind of dangle your wrist out. So the first one that we're going to do is literally just putting our forehead onto the bolster and taking a crow from there so we can feel what it is to have kind of a tripod of support. So I like to start off with the feet nice and wide, kind of toes turning out just a little bit. So I'm squatting down and getting my hands planted flat on the floor, shoulder distance wide. My knees are coming up to my triceps, and that's the position I start to tilt forward from. So the forehead's going all the way to the bolster. From that nice safety point, maybe the right toes lift off the ground, maybe the left toes. And feel how the core isn't just kind of there. It's trying to curl up and in. When you're ready for a little break, go into a forward fold. Just kind of roll the wrists out. So no need to go further if that's a version you want to play with again. This time, if you'd like to try the full crow, you'll be gazing above the bolster, knowing that if your balance goes forward, just put the crown of your head down. So again, the hands are in the position, the knees are in the position. You stay lifted a bit higher this time, gazing forward, The forehead is like right above the bolster. And maybe one set of toes lifts, maybe the other. Good. Amazing. Good work, guys. When you're ready, go ahead and take the forward fold again. Roll the wrist down. Well, don't worry, we'll take wrist stretches in just a moment. We'll take one more turn just to play with it. So same options, same variations as before, using the bolster with the head or just using it as safety, that's fine. Maybe just one set of toes ever lifts, and that's fine, nothing wrong with that. Good, sometimes even just kind of playing with the shape is totally fine. Once again, actually this time let's go into a yogic squat. So if you need the bolster to sit on, that's fine. Otherwise, we're coming into the squat shape. The elbows push into the knees when you're done. Good work, everybody. This is a scary pose for all of us, so I'm sure. So building that gentle confidence. By the hands pushing downward a little bit, kind of take the first gentle little wrist stretch. Beautiful. Hands gently rest down. Work the knees underneath you. So to help those hips out, we're going to go back and forth 3 times. 3 to child, and then forward cobra. 2. 1. Take a bolster over to your right side, placing the right knee on the bolster, and then letting the bolster slide out to the right before you drop down to elbows. Right thigh stretch. So these wrists have just a little break for a moment. Okay, coming up to hands. Come back into the middle. And then from here, with the hands underneath your shoulders in a kneeling position, rotate the fingers out to the sides. Maybe you only point kind of backwards slightly to an angle, or maybe you can get the fingers all the way pointed into your thighs. So it's only rotating to the degree that feels okay. When you get there, slowly back the hips backwards, only to the degree that wrists need to feel a stretch. Three more breaths if it's doing okay. Easing back over the top before we release. Take a moment to come up high, rolling the wrists as we either grab or switch the bolster to the left. Left knee goes onto it, slide out to the side, and then lower back to elbows. If you need to keep on rolling the wrists while you're here, that's fine. More breath in and out. And back over the center. This time in front of us, we're placing the back of the hand down. So scooting in makes it a bit easier. Scooting more forward makes it a bit harder. Either way, send the hips back if that's comfortable. So walking forward, maybe more pressure, more wrist stretch. Try to find a spot where you're comfortable for about 3 more breaths. also rise up after that third breath. We can roll those wrists. Okay. Now bolster's helping us take a shoulder stretch as we lay down to belly. It's going to be a passive stretch, so this low height is the easiest variation, just lifting the right shoulder up a little bit. You can bump it up to a medium height. I doubt anybody will be all the way, maybe a tall height, but just kind of try to find a height that allows your shoulder to be just in a nice passive stretch. If you're almost in a stretch and you need just a little bit more, so straight arm, by the way, helps it out. If you need just a little bit more, you can press the left hand into the ground. That rotates the right shoulder down just a little. Okay, start to switch sides. Start to the left arm up. And try to find a place where you're feeling a stretch, even if it's just the slightest bit of pressing the right hand down. Good, starting to release. Press that either high kneeling spot if you're not very comfortable sitting on your feet. So that's the second variation. We're clasping our hands together and then just rolling the wrists out. Good. Flip out the other way. Left hand pulls closer. And the right hand. Release, roll the wrists. Pigeon pose, right leg forward, just slide it into place. Left leg scoots back. If you ever want the bolster under that right hip, that can help to keep the hips more square. We're never just dropping, collapsing the right hip to the ground. Sacrum is level instead. Always staying up in the back bend is always an option. Up into elbow, sleeping pigeon is another variation. Play with what's best for your spine. Beautiful. One more side. So this right knee comes back, left slides forward, switch it all out. Same approach. If you wanted to stay in the heart opener for a little while, that's fine. Dropping directly down is also beautiful. Last inhale, exhale. Okay, so coming to a seated place, we're transitioning toward our Shavasana. If there's a couple of last seated stretches or a couple of last laying stretches your body needs before you can be comfortable in Shavasana, you can take a moment to explore those. Also know, since we have the bolster, you have a couple of additional Shavasana options, such as bolster under the knees or bolster behind the back, if you want to take Shavasana in any of those variations instead. Shavasana is that beautiful restful pose that we take in the end of class to help integrate everything together. So no rush if you have last poses, but eventually find whatever shape is most restful, most healing for your body at this point. Imagine courage isn't something that you need to build. Imagine courage is already within you, and we just have to remove what's blocking courage. As we're taking deep, full breaths, imagine it's like we're removing those doors that have been blocked, closed. Let yourself just fully experience to the best extent possible. Try to experience courage for the next few minutes. Into deepen the inhales and the exhales. Introduce little movements back to the body. Fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out in ways that feel really helpful for the body. Sometimes it's nice to take a fetal position to one side. If you'd like to do so, you're welcome to. 3 or 4 more breaths, only rising up to a comfortable seated position when you. As we join our hands together in front of the heart, we feel this sense of courage, kind of like the bird looking over the edge as it's about to fly for the first time. We feel that sense of strength within us, that sense of purpose. And if today is the day to fly, we imagine as we're heading off to the rest of our day, we can go head off to amazing things. Our energy is so powerful. We can shape it in so many ways. So with this courage to fly, to lead us onward, let's wrap up the time that we got to share together with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.